from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on the national television Rupavahini. Bringing your stories for today is Clifford Richards and I'm Shram Mascarenas. First, it's a look at the day's headlines.
Sending of women for jobs in the Middle East will have to be conducted only through foreign job agencies from today. The minister in charge complains to the police on the farmers' representatives who arrived at the Mai Lupalama Field Crop and Development Institute. State Minister of Finance says relief to the people will not be curtailed. The crisis of rising egg prices worsens. COVID appears to be on the increase again. The indisposed Muthuraja elephant is to be brought back to Thailand.
Well, moving on to the stories in detail. Women leaving the island for employment in domestic services in Oman and the UAE without the intervention of the employment agencies has been temporarily suspended with effect from today. General Manager of the Bureau, EDP Senanayaka, says that accordingly, women are able to leave for jobs in the Middle Eastern countries only through licensed foreign job agencies. General Manager of the Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau said that the Bureau registration applicable for women leaving for foreign domestic employment in Oman and UAE as well as for migration of persons for low-skilled jobs have been temporarily suspended with effect from today. They are permitted to migrate only via the foreign job agencies. 77 women, including female youth, are being detained at present at the Suraksha residence affiliated to the Sri Lankan Embassy in Oman. 65 members of the group were reported to have arrived in the country via tourist visas. The Colombo Additional Magistrate, Kemin Pereira, has ordered to release on bail a female suspect taken into custody today in connection with the incident of selling women for jobs in Oman. The suspect, Asha Disanayaka, is a resident of Dambulla. She has surrendered to the Department of Criminal Investigations today. The attorney appearing on behalf of the suspect said her client was working only as a language translator in Oman and that she was not connected to any criminal activities. The counsel has also charged that her client has been arrested to shield the main suspect in connection with the incident. Meanwhile, the Negombo magistrate has ordered yesterday to further detain till the 24th of this month suspect named Mohammed Rizvi, who had been accused of selling women for employment. It has been revealed that he had been engaged in human trafficking by posing as a secretary to the Presidential Secretariat. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Foreign Employment Bureau have presented facts regarding the incident to the media briefing today. Director General of Economic Affairs of the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment, Chandana Veerasena, said that the migrant women have been thoroughly deceived. Currently, they are at 19,000 Sri Lankan nationals working in Oman.
අය ඉන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාව පැත්තෙන්. එහෙම අවස්ථාවකදී අපි ඕමාන් රජයට මේක පිළිබඳව අපි දෝෂාරෝපණය කිරීමෙන් වළකින්න ඕන කියලා මම බොහොම තරයේ විශ්වාස කරනවා.
The Badulla Magistrate Court has ordered today to place under detention till the 5th of next month two suspects, including an Italian national who are alleged to have planned a financial fraud by promising foreign employment in Romania. Two more suspects have been released on surety bail of 200,000 rupees each. These two suspects have been arrested in a raid conducted by a special investigation unit of the Foreign Employment Bureau yesterday. They have been apprehended when the youth were called for an interview at a hotel in Badulla after the publishing of an advertisement in Facebook. State Minister of Foreign Affairs Taraka Balasuriya has arrived at the CID today to make a complaint over conducting investigations on racketeering and irregularities in the consular division offices in the foreign employment sector.
The Ministry of Agriculture says complaints will be lodged with the IGP to implement law and order by arresting a group of National Farmer Collective, the reason being the forceful and illegal entry into the field of Crops and Development Institute of Mahilupalma by the so-called group. Meanwhile, a group of representatives of the National Farmer Collective has convened a media briefing today. The relevant news item was telecast in the main singular news bulletin of the national television at noon and night yesterday. Members of the group have accused the relevant development institute as an institute wasting funds. Upon the news broadcast, the Ministry of Agriculture has issued a communique stating that the so-called members of the Farmers Collective had entered the institute premises without permission. It is also says the Minister Mahinda Amaravira has given instructions to his secretary in this connection. The institute is considered as a research body which has introduced many field crops which brought higher harvests. The ministry adds that this institute could be regarded as a farm which contributes to the research activities relating to the development program. It also stresses that this institute is not engaged in farming activities. The communique further says the Farmer Collective members had entered the premises and acted in a manner of inconveniencing the scientists and employees engaged in duties. State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinga says provision of relief to the people affected by the economic crisis will be continuously carried forward without any cutbacks. He also said in Parliament today that the cooperation of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund is also being extended in this regard. State Minister Semasinga has made these observations in response to a query raised by the opposition today, the sixth day of the debate of the second reading of the budget. Parliamentarian Rasa Manikyam Shanakian said that 5,000 rupee allowance for the persons of disabilities, which was hitherto be carried out, has been introduced to 2,500 rupees by the recent budget. He further said that at a time when inflation is rising, more taxes have been imposed. State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinga said that the payment will be carried out as usual within the present period of 7 months. He further said funds in this connection will be met through government money from next January to April. He added that therefore no cutback has taken place. Parliamentarian Shanakian has also requested the Minister of Finance to increase the 5,000 rupee allowance for disabled persons to 7,500 rupees. State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinga said that the additional funds are being provided in addition to the 5,000 rupee allowance. He further said that the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund has recommended restructuring in state financing. He also said that the program will be further strengthened to extend relief to low-income earners. A media briefing to present facts against restructuring of the Sri Lanka Telecom has taken place in Colombo today. Trade union representatives of the company have expressed their opinions in this occasion. President of the Sri Lanka Telecom Workers Union, Atula Botheju, said that it has been reported that there are employees who are drawing salaries amounting to 4.5 million rupees in the institute. He has challenged the investigating divisions to point out who these persons are. He further said that the trade unions have the right to know of who these employees are.
Well, poultry businessmen say a situation has arisen of not being able to sell an egg at a stable price of rupees 50. The reason being the high manufacturing costs. The prices of chicken feed have also gone up, they say. The entrepreneurs further say that increasing transport expenditure due to higher fuel prices has also become a major obstacle for the maintenance of the industry. The All Ceylon Poultry Businessmen's Association says that there is no hoarding of eggs by the producers, as pointed out by some consumers. When inquiring from the Consumer Affairs Authority over the request of manufacturers to increase the egg price, he replied that he is unable to respond as this fact is connected to a court action scheduled to be conducted on the 24th of this month. when the SLRC inquired from the Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture, Gunadasa Samarasinghe, over the prices of eggs. He has responded by saying that this matter should be subjected to further discussions. He added that, however, a proper reply would be provided within the next 2 days.
COVID pandemic is a pandemic affecting the entire world. Worldwide communities have been severely affected economically as well as in the past 2 years due to the epidemic. Health sources say a minor growth in the number of COVID patients has been reported. COVID is still being reported in some countries. In Sri Lanka, nearly 20 COVID patients are being found daily. Some deaths have also been recorded on a daily basis. The epidemiology unit says the general public still doesn't show much concern on health protection when engaging in their daily activities. The health sources upon our inquiry has expressed on the need to continuously wear face masks at public places and to receive COVID inoculation. COVID disease was first detected in Wuhan City, China in December 2019. With the rapid expansion, the number of COVID patients has been increased to 643 million. Up to yesterday, the total number of COVID-related deaths was at 6.62 million.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe assured to provide necessary assistance to expand the scouting movement by increasing its membership to 200,000 by 2024. The president also mentioned that he would seek the support of the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Youth Affairs for this purpose. The Sri Lanka Scouts Association officially conferred the title of Chief Scout on the President Ranil Wickremesinghe this morning at the President's office, where he made these comments. The Scouts Commissioner, Attorney at Law Janaprit Fernando, commissioned and presented the Scout scarf and the appointment certificate to President Ranil Wickremesinghe. A report on the progress of the Scout movement was also presented to the President. Speaking at the occasion, the President further stated that he expects to get the full support of the Scout movement for the 75th Independence celebration. President invited the Scout movement to join the environment-related programs, which are being held with the intervention of the President's office and headed by the President's advisor on climate change, Ruwan Wijewardena. The commemorative medal for the 60th anniversary of the Homagama district branch affiliated to the Sri Lanka Scouts Association was presented to the President by Girl Scout Titulukatya. The related commemorative souvenir was presented to the President.
Questions have been raised in Parliament today regarding 2 members of the Police Commission arriving at the airport to welcome former Minister Basil Rajapaksa. Samagi Jana Balawegaya parliamentarian Nalin Bandara said that they all got together and passed the 21st constitutional amendment recently. This revision clearly stipulates on the independence of the commissions. He added that he would table a CD tape in this connection. MP Nalin Bandara further said that even under such circumstances, Chairman of the Police Commission Chandra Fernando and another member named MP Pereira had welcomed Basil Rajapaksa at the airport yesterday. The parliamentarian had requested on the impartiality of the commissions and inquired how the country could go forward amid such developments. He further said that such shameless individuals are present in Parliament, as well as also called on to remove Chandra Fernando and MP Pereira from the commission. Parliamentarian S.M. Marika said that Basil Rajapaksa is not a parliamentarian, let alone even a Pradesha Sabha member. He has queried how Rajapaksa was extended facilities at the VIP lounge. He also questioned how police traffic bikes were provided for his protection. The MP has demanded an explanation into these events.
Well, today marks the World Fisheries Day, and all people whose livelihoods depending on fisheries observe this special day. Well, fisheries is a prehistoric practice dating back at least 40,000 years. It is a major source of food in many regions, according to estimates of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Fisheries and aquaculture provide direct and indirect employment to over 500 million people in developing countries. The World Fisheries Day is celebrated annually on 21st of November. Its main objectives are to highlight the contribution of commercial fishing to the global economy and and raise awareness of the importance of sustainable fisheries. The World Fisheries Days was established primarily to draw public attention to the most pressing challenges that the world fishing industry has to face, as well as to bring together stakeholders to find ways to solve them. The main problem facing fisheries around the world is resource depletion caused by overfishing, water pollution and climate change. In addition, fisheries are very important to the economies of many developing countries. According to statistics, 65% of the reported catch from inland fisheries is from low-income, food-deficit countries, in the livelihood of approximately 500 million people in developing countries depending on fisheries and aquaculture. To achieve sustainability in fisheries, fisheries management combines population dynamics and other theoretical disciplines with practical strategies. Its ultimate goal is to produce sustainable biological, economic and social benefits from renewable aquatic resources.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that a massive foreign exchange earnings could be made if the fish resource is being used appropriately. He has made these remarks participating in the World Fisheries Day commemoration at the Beruwela Divisional Secretariat Auditorium today. Introduction of the new fisheries insurance scheme, pension scheme and the Ivara Kakulu Children's Savings Program has taken place at this occasion. Prime Minister said that the fisheries industry is new opening in Sri Lanka. This is a new avenue to earn foreign exchange by moving away from the traditional forms.
Well, the COP27, or the United National Climatic Conference, has ended yesterday. Well, it has been decided to set up a fund to compensate on damages due to climatic changes. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, in his address to the conference, has reiterated the need to pay compensation to countries affected due to carbon emission and as a result of activities in developed countries, and to set up a fund in this regard.
Developed nations should be giving leadership to overcome climate challenges rather than abdicating their responsibilities. It is no secret that climate financing has missed the target. It's ironic that the $100 billion pledged annually have not been available in the coffers to finance climate challenges, as many developed nations deem it fit to renege on their climate financing contributions.
Well, foreign analysts say it is a historical achievement to come into an agreement at the conference. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says immediate action should be taken to reduce in drastic manner of the carbon emission. More than 35,000 climate scientists and foreign heads had attended the COP27 summit, which commenced in Egypt on the 6th of this month. Analysts say, although a fund has been established, no substantial measures have been taken to prevent the rising incidence of global warming.
The Ministry of Wildlife is reported to be preparing to request the Thai ambassador to make room for the detention of Muthuraj elephant at the Devala Zoological Gardens at a time when the Thai embassy is planning to take back the animal to Thailand. The elephant is currently undergoing treatment at the Devala Zoo. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera has pointed out that they are hoping to treat the elephant at the zoological premises, and the Thai government has agreed to bear the expenses on food and treatment of the elephant.
Well, the government aims to resume the negotiations on free trade agreements. The government has invited the private sector stakeholders to creatively engage in this development initiative, as they are the ultimate beneficiaries. Well, through the vision, Sri Lanka is to integrate with the global value chains and also the latest economies in South and South Asia and expand to the East region, linking to the regional comprehensive economic partnerships. Secretary to the President, Samana Ekanayake, made these observations during a meeting on the resumption of negotiations of free trade agreements at the Finance Ministry in November. The Secretary to the Treasury Secretaries to the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Industries, and also members of the National Trade Negotiation Committee also participated. The government intends to operationalize free trade agreement with Singapore and has taken steps to resume negotiations of free trade agreements with India, China and Thailand. Foreign direct investments from economies can be largely attracted to Channel, and also the benefits to the goods and services trade through the investment trade nexus. The Trade Negotiation Committee has already been appointed by the Cabinet of Ministers to reinvigorate the negotiations. The National Trade Negotiation Committee gave assurance of conducting broad dialogue with the private sector throughout the negotiations through the responsible government institutions. The private sector representatives stressed in detail the necessary and also the necessity of giving the highest consideration of their offensive and defensive interests.
Sri Lanka proposed to set up a group of eminent persons with a view to helping galvanize greater political will to combat terrorist financing. Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to India, Milinda Morogoda, made this proposal in his statement to the third No Money for Terror Ministerial Conference in New Delhi. The third No Money for Terror Ministerial Conference on Counter-Terrorism Financing was held from November 18 to the 19th, 2022 in the New Delhi. The conference extensively discussed global trends in terrorism and terrorist financing, use of formal and informal channels of funds for terrorism, emerging technologies and terrorist financing, and requisite international cooperation to address the challenges in combating terrorist financing. Delivering the country statement, the High Commissioner further stated that the political will on the part of the member states is the most significant component in international cooperation to address the multifaceted challenges faced by when combating terrorist financing. He said that there should be a mechanism to provide continuity to the work of the conference. In this context, the High Commissioner Morogoda proposed that India, as the chair of the present conference, take the lead in creating a group of eminent persons selected from among the member states with a view to helping galvanize greater political will and to create further international awareness among states on the importance of combating terrorist financing. The conference, which was inaugurated by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saw the participation of delegations from 93 countries and multilateral organizations.
Well, here's another boost for higher education overseas, where China announces government scholarships programs for Sri Lankan graduates. Well, China has announced its government education scholarship program for Sri Lankan graduates for the year 2023-24. The Chinese embassy in Sri Lanka said that 36 government scholarships for Masters and Doctor of Philosophy will be provided for eligible Sri Lankan graduates. The embassy further says that candidates will be provided an opportunity to select from over 280 top Chinese universities. Tuition fees, dormitory, monthly stipend and comprehensive medical insurance are all being covered. The Chinese embassy said in a Twitter message those interested have been requested to apply via the Sri Lanka's Ministry of Education.
The Ampara District Secretariat has distributed vegetable seeds among farmers in the Kotavera village in Ampara today. Ampara District Secretary J.M.A. Douglas says the seeds have been distributed under the allocations of the Department of Agriculture with the objective of encouraging farmers to engage in vegetable cultivations in addition to the paddy cultivation. The seed distribution program has commenced in 20 divisional secretariat divisions in the district today. It has also been reported that paddy has been cultivated in 89,000 hectares of land in the district during the current Maha season. Stay with us as we bring you the latest from the Indonesian earthquake.
සීගේට පුළුවන් නම් මටත් පුළුවන්. සීගේට පුළුවන් නම් මටත් පුළුවන්. සීගේට පුළුවන් නම් මටත් පුළුවන්. සීගේට පුළුවන් නම් අපි හැමෝටම පුළුවන්. 100% දේශීය නැවුම් එලකිරිවල පෝෂණය. Prima Stella Set Yogurt.
ජය ගන්න වැඩි වෙන්න.
People's Remittance இடமிருந்து நாளாந்தம் 10,000 ரூபாய், வாராந்தம் பெறுமதியான தங்க பவுண்ட், மாதாந்தம் 1 மில்லியன் ரூபாவுடன் வருட இறுதி மாபெரும் சீட்டிழப்பில் 1 கோடி ரூபாய். நீங்கள் வெளிநாட்டிலிருந்து மக்கள் வங்கியினூடாக பணம் அனுப்பும் போது பரிசு குவியல். People's Remittance, கோடி அதிர்ஷ்டம், அனுப்பவும் வெல்லவும்.
Welcome back, and yes, topping the stories is the news from Indonesia, where the earthquake has struck in the main Indonesian island of Java. leaving at least 56 people dead and hundreds of more people injured, says officials. Well, according to the US Geological Survey data, the 5.6 magnitude quake struck Cianjur town in West Java, a shallow depth of 10 kilometers. The tremor could be felt in the capital Jakarta, about 100 kilometers away, where people in tall buildings were evacuated. Officials have warned the death toll could rise and the possible aftershocks. They further said that at least 300 people were being treated for injuries at one hospital in Cianjur. Most of the injuries were bone fractures sustained from being trapped by debris in buildings. Local media report that rescuers have been trying to evacuate people from collapsed buildings and managed to save a woman and her baby. In Jakarta, office workers rushed out of buildings in the civic and business district during the tremor, which lasted for about a minute. Earthquakes are common in Indonesia, which sits on the Ring of Fire area of tectonic activity in the Pacific.
A pocket watch belonging to a postal clerk aboard the RMS Titanic has sold to 98,000 sterling pounds 110 years on. Oscar Scott Woody's watch is frozen at a time when he went into the cold North Atlantic when the ship sank on April 14, 1912. The watch was sold at Henry Aldridge and Sons and Devices in the weekend along with other memorabilia from the doomed ship. The timepiece was owned by Oscar Woody, who perished along with 1,520 others when the luxury liner struck an iceberg and sank in the Atlantic Ocean in 1912. It was recovered from the ocean and returned to his wife Layla the following month. Among the treasured items was his gold-plated Ingersoll watch and chain that was damaged as the disaster unfolded. The pocket watch glass screen had smashed and its two hands snapped off. However, it was found with an imprint showing where the minute hand had been pointed between 4 and 5. Oscar Scott Woody was from Virginia in the USA and served as the postmaster of the Titanic. He had been selected to take charge of the mailroom for the ship's maiden voyage on April 10, 1912, after spending 15 years as a railroad mail clerk. The gold-plated pocket watch belonged to a private collector of Titanic memorabilia and was sold at the auction held last weekend. A first-class menu featuring plover on toast was sold for 50,000 sterling pounds, and a list of first-class passengers went for 41,000 sterling pounds. Henry Aldridge and Son is well known for selling memorabilia from the Titanic.
And moving on with more local international stories, Malaysia's stock market and currency dipped after a national election, producing the Southeast nation's first hung parliament, setting up a scramble to form a coalition before a deadline today. Well, the ringgit fell almost 0.8% against the US dollar in early trading on Monday before recovering to be down by 0.1% as markets weighed the possibility of an extended period of political instability. Well, Kuala Lumpur's benchmark index fell as much as 1.5%. Malaysia's national election on Saturday failed to produce a clear winner, with neither Pakatan Harapan nor the coalitions securing the 112 seats to form a government. The Pakatan Harapan, led by opposition Anwar Ibrahim, won 82 seats, while the Perikatan Nasir, led by former Prime Minister Mahiudin Yassin, scored 73. Both Anwar Ibrahim and Mahiudin have claimed to have enough support from the legislators to form a new government. Malaysia's king extended by 24 hours the deadline for legislators to notify the palace of the preferred government, shortly before the original deadline was set to expire. Southeast Asia's fourth largest economy has bounced back strongly from the COVID-19 pandemic after suffering its biggest contraction since 1998. In the Asian financial crisis, gross domestic product surged 14.2% during the July-September period after growing 8.9%.
North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has appeared with his daughter in the public for the first time, confirming long-rumored reports of her existence. The girl, believed to be named as King Chu A, joined him as an inspection of a major intercontinental ballistic missile launch on Friday. The pair stood hand in hand during the first test, which was condemned by the US. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un leads one of the world's most secretive states, and a little is known about his personal life. In September, several North Korean experts reported that Chu A was shown in a video at the country's National Day celebrations, but this was a speculation, and the North Korean leadership is yet to confirm that it was indeed the leader's daughter.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න ප්‍රීමා කතුමි ෆන් තමයි
With that, we wrap up today's news for tonight. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Good night.